Let all cats old enough to catch their own prey gather here beneath the podcast for a clan meeting. Welcome to Paws and Clause, a podcast where we read the Warrior Cats books in chronological order. I'm Scout, joined by my co-host and T-Swift concertgoer Jill, and today we will be discussing Dawn of the Clans, Book 3, The First Battle. Jill, hello, my friend.
Hi, Scout.
How was the concert?
Oh, it was so good. My voice was completely gone by the end. Traveled out to the desert, which I had never been to Arizona before.
I waved at you from a state or two over, a couple states over,
yeah.
I guess. I don't know where
I
Arizona
felt it in
is.
my heart.
Mm-hmm. You know that I was
And
waving.
in my tacos. How have you been?
I have been good. I am excited to talk about this book.
Oh boy.
I'm excited to talk to you, my very good friend.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, I say we should ask how's the prey running?
Oh man. Let me tell you what. This goddamn cat game.
Let's go!
So, since we last spoke, I have now joined the Discord for Clan Gen, and found that, there are these fun little challenges that you can do, that people have kind of made their own rules, for these challenges, and you play along, and, some of them you win, some of them is just for telling a story. Oh boy, I have, sunk many hours over the past couple weeks.
It's so easy. It's so easy to do it.
So the thing is, though, I really love there's like a lot of survival-based challenges where it's like, hey, at the end of every moon, you gotta roll a die and see how many of your cats like succumb to a mysterious illness or something like that. And it's just it's a lot like Nuzlocking for Pokemon.
True.
Where you are like giving yourself these parameters that you have to follow.
Yes.
And it's just so fun.
Do you have any standout challenges that you've done or standout cats or both?
Yes. Okay. So, standout challenges. The sickness was my favorite one. So the sickness challenge is one where there is a flower plague that kind of grows inside a cat's lungs, a lot like the Hanahaki disease in a lot of fanfiction and stuff. But it's not based on like unrequited feelings.
Right. It's just you got the plant zombies in you.
Right. You got the plant zombies in you. But every 5 moons, one cat gets infected, and you have to roll to see how many other cats they infect. And if they're infected, there's like 2 modes you can do. I did alternate. If they get infected, they become zombies and they're exiled, and you cannot patrol while there are zombies out. Or if you play on the easier mode, they are infected and die if they're infected.
I like the idea of not literally, it's just like they're exiled and you can't go out. You can't go out until those fools die.
And that's so hard.
Because it can take a really long time.
Yeah, I've not beaten it on zombie mode. But I did do it, I think I did like 5 runs, and at the final one, so every 12 moons, you can have your medicine cat make a roll to see if they make a breakthrough for a cure. So it's a lot like Pandemic, the board game.
Oh, cool.
And so you have to get 3 breakthroughs in order to fully cure the disease. So in my last one, I got so lucky with my rolls. I ended up at 36 moons coming up with a cure.
Ooh.
My furthest that I got in terms of number of moons was 55 moons. I was left with nothing but my medicine cat.
Oh my god.
And since it was just one cat, and a cat has to get infected at every 5 moons, I was like, all right, rest in peace, good buddy.
Oh, rip.
It was good, though. What about you?
I have also been playing Clan Gen. The challenge that I have been... Okay, First of all, I did a challenge called the Load-Bearing Kitten Challenge, which essentially is you use a random number generator to generate a name that could be generated by the game, and then you have to play until you find that cat. You have to play until that kitten is born. So I was on a quest to find Weed Kit for like 3 days, which was very funny. Weed Kit. I was in Weed Clan. We were looking for Weed Kit. I fucking could not get. So eventually I got to the point where I was like, I wonder if the game doesn't spawn kittens that have the same word in their name as is your clan name, and maybe I've messed myself up by naming the clan Weed Clan. So I was like, okay, I'll roll again and I'll get a different name. And then lo and behold, I got that kitten immediately, and then also Weed Kit finally showed up.
Oh, well, there you go.
So there we go. So it was both ways I got the kittens, but unfortunately they did perish in a mass extinction event before they could retire, and so I had to stop that one.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's too bad, but I just really like that it was the search for Weed Kit. That it was the first name I rolled. That was just cracking me up. I've been having a great time with the, I believe it's in the Discord, it is called the Realism Challenge. I also have been calling it like the Canon Challenge because it's essentially trying to adhere to the way that the rules of the clans and the kind of storytelling work in the books. That one is pretty much just like you can go for as long as you can go. I have been keeping a Word document. Jill, I know you've also been doing this one.
I have, yes.
And we've been sending some screenshots back and forth of nonsense. My personal favorite bit is I had like a Yuri manga happening in my game for a while because one of my cats, Oddreed, was really crushing on Rushcone, who was my medicine cat. And as we will eventually get to in the series, medicine cats are not allowed to have spouses or children due to the rules of the clans in the books.
The law.
The law. The star said that the medicine cats can't fuck. So I was like, Oddreed, babe, this is a bad idea. And then there was another cat named Holly Rump, who in turn first had like a crush on 5 different cats and then zoned in on Oddreed. And then it took 5 years for Holly Rump to finally officially announce her feelings to Oddreed, and at that point Oddreed had kind of gotten over her crush on Rushcone, and it was a grand old time. They became mates, and Holly Rump is still alive. Oddreed has passed away due to old age at this point, so they're just like a very nice old lesbians, and I like that a lot. My other favorite part is like, and this is moons, just months before death, Oddreed is like, I'm pregnant, and I'm like, you are ancient and also a lesbian, so I'm very curious about this. So I was like, ooh, what's happening? And it turns out that Oddreed had maybe an affair with another one of the elders in my clan named, oh, what's his name? It's like Smoky Dusk, Smoky Dusk, I think. Or Curly Dusk. And I was like, Curly Dusk, you old fucking dog. But I choose to believe that he was actually acting as a surrogate sperm donor for the lesbians to have kittens in their golden years. So shout out to Oddreed, Fly High Queen.
We'll miss you forever.
We'll miss you forever. She's watching us from Starclan now. She's up there with Rushcone, so hopefully, hopefully that doesn't like cause any tensions in the marriage with Holly Rump eventually.
I'm hoping
that she like got to hang out with Rushcone in Starclan. I just think that they could all do it together. They could just all be 3 just a cat polycule lesbians.
Yeah. My funniest thing I think that happened in the realistic challenge, I have one cat that has like been just like keeping on through the entire time and like is not getting any of the respect she deserves.
Oh.
Her name is Stembriar, and she was mates with a cat named Briarpelt early on in my challenge. And there was one moon where it was one of the events was Briarpelt, that's her mate, called Stembriar the wrong name, and I just wrote down, dude, that's your wife. And then when I went to the little statuses, it was Stembriar is having a disagreement with Briarpelt, and I'm like, yeah, I bet she is.
I bet, because he fucking called her the wrong name.
And this was like after they were mates. I'm like, okay, chill.
Dude, my guy.
A whole mess.
Shout out to the devs and runners of the of the Clan Gen game and
we
Discord.
Love you.
We love you guys. We love this game. I am looking in here and like daily there are multiple updates to the dev version, basically the in progress version, to fix bugs and then to fix the counter bugs that appear when other things are trying to be fixed. And it's just really cool to sort of see this game continue to be so actively worked on.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Like in real time. It's fun.
Go check it out if you have not already from us talking about it. You will lose hours of your life.
You will. You'll never be able to stop.
But it's worth it. Do you want to take a personality quiz this week?
Let's do it. I would love to take a personality quiz.
All right, this week we're taking the quiz, what power would Starclan grant you?
Ooh.
All right, you got yours?
Uh-huh.
All right. Starclan would grant me the power to walk in dreams.
Oh, you're a regular J feather up in here.
Oh my god. It says you are a quiet, contemplative soul, and you see things in ways others may not think of. With this power, you can see deep into the heart of people's dearest hopes and darkest fears by walking in their dreams.
Oh.
What'd you get?
I got the power to read emotions and thoughts.
Okay.
This says, you are a friendly and social sort, and your friends know you're always someone they can rely on. With this power, you can know the thoughts and feelings of those around you and understand better what the people around you are all about. This is the alternate J Feather, because J Feather does both of these things.
He does. Hashtag J Feather Kinney. Oh, I'm so sorry for that joke. AJ, edit that joke out. AJ, edit that out.
AJ, do not. AJ, I'm paying you to not edit that joke out.
AJ, I will pay you more money than Scout if you edit that joke out.
Oh, man. The funny thing is that I believe that I took this at some point just on my own, between this recording and last recording, because you had also dropped it in last recording's document.
Oh yeah, as an option.
And that time I got the same one that you got, and this time I answered a little bit differently and got a little bit of a different thing. So I think that's interesting. I think both of those suit me pretty well. I like to think that I am a reliable friend that any cat could come to. I think
you are.
And I think that you are contemplative.
I sure am.
This has been a wonderful How's the Prey Running section, but we should probably get started. Get into it. So please, dear listeners, dear Jillian, come with me on a journey through our summary. As Clear Sky and his gang of forest cats continue to push for territory expansion, his son Thunder, joined by the injured forest exile Frost, is given shelter by Greywing and the Moorland cats, receiving medical treatment and explaining Clear Sky's worsening attitude. Greywing and Thunder arrange a tenuous meeting with Clear Sky at a neutral location to discuss border politics, but Clear Sky, power-hungry and paranoid, convinces himself the Moorcats are planning an ambush and rallies his camp for a battle instead. Meanwhile, a cocktail of trouble is being mixed in the Moorland camp. Greywing's lungs were weakened by the smoke of the forest fire, and he suffers a flare-up, confined to bed rest, at the same time as Windrunner's kits are born prematurely, and Turtletail's abusive kitty pet ex and biological father of her 3 kittens tries to force himself back into her life, by staging a casual kidnapping while everyone is busy. A small group of more cats, allied with everyone's favorite local weirdo, River Ripple, stages a rescue mission to recover the kittens from Two Leg Place. With pluckiness and quick thinking, the rescue is eventually successful, but not before tragedy strikes as Turtletail is killed by a speeding car. Reunited with what remains of his family and deep in mourning, Greywing meets Clear Sky under the full moon. It seems as though the conflict might be resolved peacefully, but Clear Sky escalates the meeting into an all-out bloodbath. Thunder manages to bring reinforcements from the Moorland camp, but it is not enough to prevent heavy losses on both sides of this conflict, ending only when Clear Sky momentarily grows a conscience and calls off his cats. In the fight's gruesome aftermath, the spirits of the dead appear to the survivors, admonishing the actions of both groups and leaving them with dead to bury and an ominous prophecy: unite or die.
Oh boy, so we've got...
There's so much happening.
There's a lot I'm looking through my notes even.
There's really so much. I mean, I think this is lower in my notes, but I'm gonna open up with the thing that I messaged you earlier that you told me to put into the notes, which is if two cats were in a clearing in the forest and one of them killed the other, would that be fucked up or what?
That's the summary of this book, basically.
It really is.
Yeah, wow. So, starting off, we have a Clear Sky POV in this book. I was in the airport when I started reading, and I verbally, out loud to Eric said, "Oh," and then texted you, "Oh, there's a Clear Sky POV?" Because you had already started by that point.
I said I already know we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, so starting off strong, we get some Clear Sky POV, and his thought process makes no fucking sense to me.
Never has there been a man so rancid and so confused.
Like, last time I said, okay, I can sort of get, wanting to protect your family and make sure nobody starves because you came from that, like, scarcity mindset. But when we get Clear Sky's POV, he's literally just like, I want to kill people because I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, excuse me? Excuse me?
I don't think that it's forecasted quite this or like right at the beginning, but there's also a time not too far into the book where we get like that Clear Sky's camp is just lousy with rotting food, basically.
Yeah.
Because they're over hunting.
Yeah, they have too much food they don't know what to do with.
They have more food than they know what to do with, and he's like, my cats are going to starve. And it's like, okay, I don't think you really believe that, sir.
Yeah, it was wild. I did not care for his chapters because he just, as a character, makes no sense to me.
There's so much stuff that is inconsistent his personality and perspective is shifting wildly, like paragraph to paragraph.
Literally, yeah.
In a way that is like concerning, like in a way that makes me very afraid for just like Clear Sky's own personal stability and like
he's got some issues that are like definitely not.
He's got some things that like a woman couldn't fix. And that's what he tried to do. He tried to fix it with a wife, and that didn't go good. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that there's anything that we could really do.
Yeah.
I will have possibly some more to say on this kind of wild swings in like characterization a little bit later when I get to the Erin Corner. But yeah, I have many thoughts. Do not like Clear Sky.
This is a Clear Sky hate account.
One of my notes was just fuck Clear Sky. All my homies hate Clear Sky. I hate Clear Sky. I hate Clear Sky. I hate Clear Sky so fucking much. Fuck you, Clear Sky. It's just I got a couple of these. Also, another Grey Wing flop moment. was Greywing at one point talking to Jagged Peak, and Jagged Peak being like, why do you, essentially being like, I don't know why you think that you can make any difference with Clear Sky. Like, there's nothing to be done about him. And Greywing is like, will Jagged Peak ever forgive Clear Sky for exiling him? And it's like, he should not have to. He should not be expected to. The man wanted him to fucking die.
Yeah. I mean, it's just...
Greywing is like loyal to his family to a deep fault in a lot of ways, especially to Clear Sky. Like, I know he's your brother, but my dude, you gotta let it go.
There's a lot going on there. Greywing, again, I like him more this book than I did in the previous ones, but he is still driving me crazy.
I know. He's got some moments. I see that you've noted it here in the notes about Unobservant King.
God, he does not know shit about fuck all. This cat is the least observant cat that I've ever seen.
Outline what's happening with him and Windrunner.
Yeah, so at the very beginning, like, it is glaringly obvious that Windrunner is pregnant. And Greywing's like, she's eating really well. My guy, your wife was pregnant. You know what a pregnant cat looks like. You're so stupid.
Greywing out here, like, my wife is pregornate.
Am I pregante?
Can oo hit baby top of its head?
Just wild to me.
So much.
He is so unobservant, but he's stupid, but he's a decent guy, so we give him a bit of a pass.
He's so stupid sometimes, but I do feel like there is a certain consistency to his stupidity in that he's just got really specific blind spots to the point where it's sometimes really funny. I also I'm partial to, I really like the way that the books are portraying like the chronic illness that he is suffering from due to the fire. Like, he has developed some sort of asthma or other. He sustained lung damage during the fire in the previous book, and that continues to be something he is dealing with and something that he is ashamed of and tries to push through and is frustrated by and limits the things that he can do. And like, there's a whole section of this book where he is essentially out of commission, and so much stuff just happens around him because when you have a chronic illness, there's nothing you can do. You can't do anything about it. Your body needs what it needs, and he needed to sleep. And he sleeps through so much stuff happening. Mm-hmm. And I bet that just really fucks a person up. Like, I would have liked to see more internality on, like, him essentially being like, I went to bed and when I woke up, my whole life was changed.
I mean, honestly, like, as someone who had COVID back in October and it reactivated my childhood asthma and made it worse, like, I get it. Like, yeah. For a while, I literally, like, could not walk from one room in my apartment to another without, like, having to catch my breath. So,
yeah,
like,
shit sucks.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I get it for poor Greywing. Like, he's having a rough one.
He is. He's having such a rough one.
And, like, that's the other thing too, is, like, I can't hate him because I do relate to him a lot in terms of, like, his physical struggles.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. I don't think I'm as unobservant as Greywing, but
no.
Like, Greywing.
Can anybody be?
No, I don't think so. But, like, Greywing also has, like, very clearly stated a panic disorder.
Yeah, which I think is really, like, that's another reason. I think that they did. I like the way that they wrote Greywing here. As somebody who has, like, 3 anxiety disorders,
yeah.
it hits for me.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I really think that, you know, the Warriors books have a lot of issues with depicting illness and stuff like that, but I think this book does a pretty decent job with Greywing and showing what it is like to have a panic attack, like a true panic attack.
Yeah.
Let's see. I also want to talk about Greywing's got some death flags he's throwing up in this book. He doesn't die ultimately in the end of this book. He almost does.
He almost fucking dies, dude.
But he throws up some death flags. It makes me very concerned for his future in this series.
Yeah.
Especially, like, he's heading to go, I think, meet with Clear Sky the first time. Or something that. And he, like, Thunder's like, what if you don't come back? And he's like, well, you'll lead them. Like, you'll take care of it. And firstly, I'm like, that is a child. And secondly, I'm like, oh, Greywing, that's not, you don't say those things in books. That's the thing you say when you're not coming back.
You can't just be out here essentially saying I'm 2 weeks from retirement.
Yeah, exactly. You're
gonna die. I'm very afraid, and I maybe a little bit mean to say I'm mostly afraid because I really don't want his fucking kids to keep losing parents. I don't want him to die.
Those kids. They're just babies.
They're just babies. I have a lot of thoughts on what happens with Turtletail.
Do you want to talk about that? Because I figured you would probably talk about that for about 20 minutes today.
Yeah. First of all, we had a very in-depth discussion about fridging at the beginning of this podcast in the first episode. I will not rehash a lot of that except to say I don't think that this was a necessary death.
I think the whole Tom subplot was unnecessary.
Yeah. First of all, fuck Tom.
Yeah,
whoa.
Like, we already knew he was a bad guy. We didn't need him coming and stealing the kittens.
It was so much. So Tom, and just like, what is he doing it for? Just because he's fucking bored? I don't know.
Literally, because he's just to show that this guy is a dick. And it's like, we know he's a dick. You don't need to do more to show us he's a dick, because ultimately
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't do anything for the overarching plot line of, hey, my fucking brother's over here trying to kill everybody. Like, they even crossed the territory.
Oh my god. Okay, but that scene where
that was fucked up.
We get that scene from, okay, so Tom takes the kids, takes Pebbleheart, Owl Eyes, and Sparrowfur? Sparrowfur is the other one, right? I get Sparrowfur and Acornfur mixed up, but Acornfur is a larger cat, an older cat.
Yeah, she's the same age as Thunder, about.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's Lightning Tail's sister. But Owl Eyes, Pebbleheart, and Sparrowfur are Turtletail's kits, Greywing's adopted children, essentially. And Tom, their father, shows up and decides he's going to essentially just like to fuck up Turtletail's life, and because he's bored and like a bully is like, I'm gonna take, these are my kids, I'm gonna take them. And it's still never really like touched upon that the kids just followed him. Yeah, I don't think
they love Greywing.
Yeah,
why would they fucking go with this dude?
I think that they wrote it well in this idea of like, I think that the kids at first thought, oh, this is just like, we're just having fun for a day or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then later on, it becomes more apparent that the kids are like, well, no, we're going to stay because he's our dad. We're going to stay here because he's our dad.
And they never met him before. I don't even think, did Turtletail even tell them that that's their dad? Like, I'm pretty sure they were under the impression that Greywing was their dad.
I know that in the second book, when Greywing and Turtletail finally sort of confess their feelings to each other, Sparrowfur does say, essentially like, this means you're really our father now, or something. So I think that they understand that Greywing is not their biological father.
Mm-hmm. But, like, they love him.
He is their father.
That's their papa.
I think that this is another situation where the books really struggle with the concept of a decided upon family, a chosen family versus biological. I don't know if it is maybe because of the genre or the like the tropes that they're playing in, but there is so much in all of these books that is centered around blood relation to its detriment in a lot of places. And I think this is a place where it really suffers. It just doesn't make sense. And Pebbleheart, my guy Pebbleheart, is so smart.
Yeah.
He would have been like, no, I'm not fucking going with you. Like, not to be all, he would not fucking say that. But these kids,
he would not fucking say that.
He would not fucking say that.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, so the kids go with Tom, and Tom crosses the border with the kids, and Clear Sky sees them.
Clear Sky talks to them.
Clear Sky talks to them, and he's like, oh, well, I'll just let this happen. And
he's literally just like, well, they're not my kids, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
they're not
like,
part of the forest cats, whatever. And he can tell that there is clearly something fucked up going on.
Yeah, he, like, gets a little sick pleasure out of Tom, like, deferring to him.
Right, because Tom, and who is it? Is it Leaf that's with him, one of his other cats that's like, those are wild cats. Those are not his kids. And he's like, Clear Sky
I don't care.
Like, I don't.
He's just like, this guy was really sucking up to me, so I'm gonna let him do whatever the fuck he wants. Then later, the cat's looking for Turtletail, and Tom and the kids come up. They see Clear Sky. They're like, hey, did you see a guy with 3 kids go by here?
And he's like,
we can literally smell them. And he's like, no.
Motherfucker, this guy is the worst. This guy sucks. Clear Sky hate group. I hate him.
I hate him so much. It literally...
untenable. Sickening.
It drives me fucking batty. Some other things that Clear Sky did that drive me crazy.
Give me the bullet points. Tell me the things.
Literal murderer has the thought, how can these cats think I'm a murderer? I'm like, bro, because you killed someone.
Because you fucking killed somebody.
I wish I could remember what this was in reference to, but Clear Sky's like, I protected them, and Petal's like, bro, what the fuck? You didn't protect anything.
Shit.
You didn't protect shit. And he's like, no, I protected them. I did great. He does not know shit about fuck. Like, he's so dumb. He and Greywing, you know what? I can tell they're brothers because they're both stupid as hell.
It's true.
Because...
no brain cells. We don't know who their father was.
Clear Sky is also, like, immediately thinking the worst of his brother. He's like... oh my god.
That drove me
Greywing
crazy.
is gonna attack us. And I'm like, when has he ever done anything except be nice to you?
And this is the thing that I think that there's a kernel of like really exceptional writing about this type of person and this kind of like emotional abuse.
For sure.
It like, because that is the thing that you run into with people who are constantly undermining and, overpowering other people will then always expect that other people are doing that same thing because it's the only way that they understand to interact with the world. Mm-hmm. And I do think that there is like something that is weirdly correct about that particular part of Clear Sky's characterization.
Yeah.
But also, I fucking hate him, and he sucks, and I hate him, and I want to punch him.
Yeah. I don't condone violence against animals, except if the animal is Clear Sky.
I do not condone animal violence, but if I see Clear Sky, it is on sight.
It is on sight.
I have a couple of things that I want to say about Turtletail's death.
Yes, please. We were, like, on that track, and then we got distracted.
Yeah. First of all, this fucking sucks. First of all, this sucks. Mm-hmm. Some of my favorite writing in the book, even though I hate that it happens, some of my favorite writing in the book is the cats, is Thunder, his best friend Lightning Tail, and River Ripple coming across Turtletail's body next to
fucking...
And there's like a whole half a page at least, a couple of paragraphs of Lightning Tail doing this. I have this highlighted here. Lightning Tail being like, no, she's hurt. That's all. Cloud Spots will be able to make her better. If we get her home, she'll be okay. He's like, we have to warm her up. She's so cold. She got hurt clearly, but like, it's okay. We can get her home and then everything will be okay. And that moment of like really innocent kind of denial of the situation at hand contrasted with Thunder's interior monologue of like, she's dead. She's so dead. Oh my God, she's dead. Oh my God, she's dead. She's dead. It was really effective for me.
I think, like, as much as I hate that it was Turtletail died because of this unnecessary plot point, I do like that it was Thunder and Lightning Tail who found her, because I don't feel like we would have, as much as Greywing loves her,
it wouldn't have been as good of a scene. It would not have been
as good of a scene. Because...
And we get a little taste of that later, but we could get to that scene later.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm looking at that part again, and it's just, like, all of his grief is just so well done. He's like...
I know.
Talking about how his words sound like someone else's, and then...
It's also really effective to have River Ripple there with them, because it really is these two kids that are seeing, like, one of their parental figures, essentially, exactly. Like, dead in front of them, and the adult who is supervising them having to be like, this is something that we cannot we change.
Yeah, we can't change this. There's nothing we can do about it. And being the one to kind of guide them through this,
and figure out what to do.
They're panicking. He's like, we can't just, like, leave her here. We got to move her body. And then he's also, they're like, they are panicking. They don't know what to do about this. And he's like, we have a mission. But he's not. He is
so empathetic about it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like as much as I love Greywing loving Turtletail, he would be yelling at people. I feel
he is not emotionally mature enough, unfortunately, to be able to handle this and be. But River Ripple is
King River Ripple is like,
River Ripple could solve the problems of the world.
He really could. He's just like, he is very mature about it. He's very, like, clear-headed. He understands their grief. Like, he takes care of them in this really upsetting moment, and he does not make it worse. And I just think that was I really enjoyed that particular bit of it. Still stupid that she died, though.
Still mad that she died. But boy, I think it is some of the best writing. Some of the best writing in this particular book is around the reactions to her death, which makes me mad on one level, but also there's pretty good writing here.
Yeah.
Notable detail, I don't even know how I feel about it. It just really stuck out to me and upset me in a way that I don't know if I like it or if I hate it. Was River Ripple talking about the body, talking about, like, I can tell that she was hit by a car because her claws are shredded, and so you know that she, like, put her claws out before she was hit, and they got shredded on the asphalt. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's, this is something that I will talk a lot more about when we get to The Prophecies Begin, especially. But, like, the way that some of these deaths are written is so visceral. It sticks with you. Like, you can, like, there are scenes that I still remember reading when I was in, like, 5th grade.
Yeah.
Because I was like, damn, that's never gonna leave my brain.
I know which one it is.
Yeah,
I know. I know at least one of them.
There's, like, 3 from the first series that, like, live in my brain rent-free. I will just think about it from time to time, like, oh, damn, that was fucked up.
That was fucked up.
I think that is one of the things, like, and it sounds bad to say this, because it's like, that's one of the things that I just have always really, I don't know if I want to say enjoyed, because I'm like, I don't like it when cats that I enjoy die.
Yeah.
And, like, but the way that they are able to write death scenes, I think, is some of the strongest descriptive writing in these books.
Yeah, I agree. The the fighting and the death scenes
those are always my favorite.
There is, like you said, there is something very visceral. There is something very, like, I think that is probably connected in, like, reading these in childhood is connected to, like, it, because it's cats. It's a space that we as children can explore and feel a little bit safer thinking about like violence against individual on individual violence, because it is so abstracted from like human on human violence.
Right.
But it still kind of satisfies curiosity is not really the right word, but there is a certain level of like, you as a kid, at least I as a kid, am always like, I was always trying to puzzle things out, and I was always trying to be like, well, what are things that do happen? You know, what are things that are scary but do happen in the world, and like wanting to be informed in a specific kind of way. I'm like on a tangent here at this point.
No, I mean, I think that's kind of what this series was, I think, for a lot of kids, was like, I mean, at least for me, it was a kind of a first introduction to real, like, visceral tragedy in fiction.
Yeah, exactly. There is
and
something...
like having those big feelings about tragedy in fiction. Because like I don't think I could tell you any books that I read before this, except for like Old Yeller, where there was such an emotional impact around character tragedy. Not even just death, just tragedy in general.
Yeah. There's so many little tragedies.
I think part of it too is they're cats. So going back to what we were saying about how visceral it is, it's so easy to be more descriptive physically about cats, I feel.
Right.
Because, you know,
they have claws, they have teeth.
Claws, they have teeth, they have fur, can go flying. It is, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen a cat fight.
I've seen like not a really bad one, I would say. I've seen tussles.
I've seen like, I think just above a tussle, basically. The fur literally does go flying. Like, it is going everywhere. You do not want to get in the middle of that. And I think that is part of why it is so much more compelling, these fight scenes, than just scenes of like cats chilling, because there's only so many ways that cats can be chilling.
There's only so many
like
ways.
As a person who has a cat, she lays there, and that's pretty much what she does when she's chilling. But like when she's zooming around or watching the birds, like cats when they are active are very like, every single movement means something. They are very like, they have a lot of body language. So I think when we get those moments of body language and finding that stuff, it is a lot of it really helps kind of bring through the emotions and the impact of a scene.
When we get back to the Moorcat camp, before we head into the final act of this book, we find out that one of Windrunner and Gorsefur's kits passed away. There were 4 kittens that were born. We didn't bring it up, but another really standout scene was Thunder like watching the birth with Turtletail.
Bro. I was like, I feel like I need to put this down. I am a 28-year-old human being, and I was like, this is a little too much.
It's a lot.
There's like full descriptions of licking the amniotic membrane off, and like, as someone who like already has like, is disgusted by the process of birth.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was like, this is unpleasant.
For me, I was more talking about just like there's a moment in there when Thunder is like, this is the most beautiful like experience that I've ever had in my life, and Turtletail is like, I know, isn't it incredible? And they share this really tender moment of like, life is amazing. And I should have fucking known then. Yeah. But I was still surprised later when Turtletail died. But this was also a death flag.
Yeah. You know, if there's one thing, the Erins do love waving their flags.
They do love waving their flags. So we get back to the camp, and Ember Kit, one of their 4 kits, passed away as well. And this is when brutal. I have Scout crying real human tears about cats count was 1. We've made it. Third book, we really made it. It was to the point where I like put down the Kindle and was like in the living room with my 2 parents, like sobbing, reading this cat book, and I was like, sometimes these cat books just really get me. This is so much. Specifically, they go out to like a pretty hillside, and they are burying this kitten. And Pebbleheart, again, my guy Pebbleheart, this fucking made me want to wail. He like goes into the grass and comes back out with a mouthful of leaves and puts them into the grave with the kitten and says, "This is burn it leaves," because he needs strength for his journey. And I was like, I'm going to simply explode.
Yeah, that was...
That really got me.
I mean, it was so sad. And the fact that they were like, I wish we could have gotten Turtletail's body to like also bury her. But then they're like, no. Where we left her, someone will find her. But she was covered in these beautiful flower petals, and it's better we remember her that way instead of trying to lug a dead body across the moor to bury her.
Yeah, because they placed
ripped my heart out.
No, they placed her under a flowering bush, like pushed her off of the side of the road, essentially under this flowering bush. And yeah, it's better we remember her covered in petals. Fucking broke me. What a line. Excuse me? This is not allowed to be in this cat book.
I know, this book had really good lines.
This book has some fucking bangers.
Like, I was shocked at how many quotes I was writing down for this book. There's one banger ass line that the girlies on Tumblr went nuts over.
Oh, but I'm very excited.
We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, oh my god, there were some great lines in this book, honestly.
There were. So that moment, Pebbleheart like giving the dead kitten the leaves for his journey.
Yeah.
Especially because that's kind of like, we are kind of no-selling that, but this is the first time in the timeline of Warrior Cats that like they've really talked about, something akin to what will eventually become the concept of the journey to Starclan, the journey to the afterlife. And just the fact that he's just a couple months old, this kitten, and he is so fucking wise, and he is so thoughtful, and I love Pebbleheart.
I love him
so
too.
much.
He's such
I would
a
fucking
good boy.
die for Pebbleheart. I'm holding him in my hand so tightly.
I think it's really interesting what you say about how this is the first time that we see like reference to the journey to Starclan. Emberkit is the first cat to have a properly formed clan name.
Yeah.
Like all of the other cats, yes, they have the prefix and the suffix essentially, but it is 2 distinct words separated. Emberkit's follows the typical prefix and suffix mashed together into one word, warrior cat name, which I think I was shocked, first of all, to see that happening. I was like, oh, we're starting this? We're starting it? It's happening? Because I was just like,
Not like really talked about at all.
No.
It's just a thing that is there.
Yeah, and I was just like, hello? So it is, and I think that is really interesting that happened. And I really it makes me hope. I don't think it will happen because, fans always have like more in-depth theories and whatnots than the creators do because we're looking at it from a different lens.
Yeah.
But it does make me wonder if Emberkit shows up anywhere else as like, we'll talk about it, but Starclan is already here. Mm-hmm. But if Emberkit shows up in later books as like not the leader of Starclan, but like kind of someone who is forming it into what it is, even though he is just a baby.
He's just a baby. We see him later. We see him later, and that just really makes my heart hurt.
God.
Oh, there's still so much to talk about with this book. This book had so much shit happening.
There was a lot. And like all of the lot kind of happened
right at the end
in the last like 3 chapters. Like,
yeah,
chapter
I feel like
18 is where it all pops really off.
really pops off.
And there's only 23 chapters in the book.
Yeah.
So it's literally the last like fourth of the book is where everything pops the heck off.
It really does. I think that, again, this is something I'll go over once we get to the Erin Corner proper, but I think that when it comes to this is our first book being written by a different Erin, essentially. This one is Kate Carey versus being Sherith Baldry, and I think that one of the things that I noticed was a lot of higher highs and lower lows with this book versus a steadier but perhaps not as compelling in its best moments kind of feeling to the first 2 books in the series.
You know what? That tracks. Should we talk about the big stuff? I feel like we should talk about this big thing.
We gotta talk about the big battle. So
this book is called the First Battle, and boy howdy, we gotta talk about this thing, because woof, so much happens.
This battle fucking sucks. This battle's so rough.
I mean, it's like, it's
good,
incredibly good plot-wise and story-wise, but woof. Okay, so Clear Sky and Grey Wing have their meeting, except Clear Sky said, I'm gonna bring my entire group. And Grey Wing's like, what the fuck, dude? I thought we were just gonna meet. And then he finds out that, Clear Sky has not been treating Jackdaw's Cry like he said he was going to. He's been starving him. And Grey Wing, appropriately, or was it Grey Wing who called him out? Somebody appropriately calls him out.
I think it might have been Tall Shadow, actually.
He gets called out. They're like, hey, Clear Sky, I thought you said you were doing this so no cat would ever starve again. And now here you are literally starving a cat.
And he's like, it takes 2 months for a cat to really starve. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he's such a pain in the ass. So, they show up, they start talking. I was kind of pissed off at Thunder and Tall Shadow for continuing to interrupt Grey Wing.
I know, Grey Wing was trying to talk
so hard, and I feel like he was almost getting there. And then they kept interrupting him and ragging on Clear Sky, as they should. But then Clear Sky was like, well, fuck you. I'm gonna attack. And
the whole battle is kind of set off by Jackdaw's Cry, like in desperation of hunger, catching a bat, which is so fucking stupid.
It literally came out of nowhere to me. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I hate Clear Sky so much. This man can't fucking listen to a thing. He can't do it.
Yeah.
Thunder does this really impressive, like, escape
to go get help.
And to Tall Shadow, so this meeting, the Moorland Cats sent Grey Wing, Thunder, and Tall Shadow.
It was just going to be Grey Wing.
It was just going to be Grey Wing, and Tall Shadow and Thunder convinced him to let them come. And Grey Wing was like, if we have too many cats, we're going to look threatening. And here's fucking Clear Sky out here with all of his cats. Oh, there's this whole thing earlier where Grey Wing, like, goes to the clearing, goes to Four Trees, which is it will become a pivotal element
space,
of the like a pivotal known space later in the series. But that's where this meeting is planned because it is like neutral territory. And Grey Wing goes there ahead of time with Tall Shadow to be like, okay, I'm gonna see, this is okay, we should approach from here because we'll be the least like threatening, and we can do this and that, and it will be all of these things. He's trying all of these.
Stand up on the big rock, which later becomes very, very important. If we stand up on the big rock, then it'll be like we're in the mountains again, and maybe he'll like remember himself a little bit. Maybe he'll remember. And it's like heartbreaking on a certain level for me because it's so much just like, it is a really good depiction of like when you have a really bad relationship with somebody and you are the one doing all the work. Yes. He is doing so much work to try and so hard. He's just trying to reach over there and get Clear Sky to give him anything, and Clear Sky fucking refuses, and it's so hard to watch. It really is. He does not want to believe that his brother is a bad person.
He doesn't.
He loves his brother, and he cares about him so deeply. And this is why this book made me insane. Because I am a person, not to the extent that our dear friend Julia is, but I am a person who, when I see a sibling dynamic and there is just like the most heartbreaking like situation going on between siblings or sibling figures who very clearly care about each other but have differing ideals, it grabs me and I'm compelled. And I would love it so much more in this book if Clear Sky was a little bit more understandable. Like, if I could understand him a little bit more, if he had like better reasons behind what he's doing, if both he and Greywing like had these opposing motives that were both founded in some sort of good or neutrality or something, like something that wasn't just like, I'm gonna kill because I want to sort of shit, I would be like absolutely torn apart by this book. So, you know, the siblings fighting in the Great Battle did get me.
Oh my god.
It did get me, but I don't think the Clear Sky and Greywing battle got me as much as it could have, because it could have been so much better. But can we talk about Falling Feather and Jackdaw's Cry?
That's a fucking brutal moment.
Oh my god. So the siblings.
Yes. So Falling Feather and Jackdaw's Cry are two siblings who came with us from the mountains. Jackdaw's Cry stayed in the moor, specifically, I believe, because he wanted to stay with his mate. What's her name?
Hawkswoop.
Hawkswoop. He wanted to stay with Hawkswoop, and so Falling Feather wanted to go with Clear Sky. So they're two siblings like Greywing and Clear Sky who are separated by these borders that Clear Sky is trying to enforce. There's also like a very it's generous to call it a B plot, but there is some stuff in a couple of the chapters with Clear Sky, where Clear Sky POV, where we see Falling Feather sort of trying to earn her place in the camp, which was really fucked up. That whole thing was also really fucked up and stupid.
The thing too, what also killed me about this is I'm trying to go back and find it.
Is it that he's protecting Thunder?
So,
because that really fucked me up too.
Yeah,
because there's the moment where him and Thunder have that really good conversation where Thunder is like, I know that you don't like me, and he's like, that's not true. Like,
yeah. But the other thing is, Jackdaw's Cry and Thunder were the ones who went to Clear Sky, and Jackdaw's Cry told Thunder, like, it will be okay, I will stay here. And he specifically looks at his sister like, I will stay here because my sister is here and I know that things will be okay.
Yes.
And then we get to the battle and Falling Feather is the one attacking Thunder and Jackdaw's Cry has to get her off, and instead of them stopping their fight, they just keep going at it, and God, seeing the end of that just devastated me too.
Yeah, when it is Jackdaw's Cry like killing his sister and then falling on top of her body as the wounds that she inflicted on him cause him to bleed out, and it really is intense.
Yeah, it's so much. And then this is also like at the same time.
Everything is happening so much in this chapter.
Yes, because at the same time, there is the fight between Clear Sky and Greywing, and Thunder watches it, and this is another banger quote. Thunder felt like he was watching a fight rehearsed for moons. They play fought as kids. He's like,
yeah,
whoa, they are falling back into their old selves, but in such a twisted and perverted way. Oh, it made me fucking wild. I was like, staring at the book, like gripping it. I was like, oh my god, yes, this is what I want. Because he's like, they know how each other fights, even after like all these, like this year apart.
Yeah,
they still know like how to fight each other. And something that used to be play is now like they are actively trying to kill each other. And it was that happening just before Jackdaw's Cry and Falling Feather kill each other. It was just wild. And
it's Thunder being the lens through which we view it is really effective, because Thunder is just looking around like, what is happening? And he is so affected by like the thing happening with Jackdaw's Cry and Falling Feather, like these two siblings, and he sees it reflected with Greywing and Clear Sky, and that's why he sort of goes to try and intercede.
Yeah. I think also having Thunder be the one that you're watching this through, because constantly he's like, I don't want to kill anyone. He badly does not want to be his dad.
He doesn't want to be his dad.
But he sees everybody like trying to kill each other. He's like, I don't want to kill anyone, but he is watching this all happen in absolute horror. Ugh.
To the point where at one point he does, in defense of himself, lash out at Leaf, at one of the forest cats, and is then like, oh my god, no, and calls Dappled Pelt calls Dappled Pelt over to like check on him. Like, Dappled Pelt, you're the medicine. You're like essentially the medicine cat. We don't have that word yet, but you know things about medicine. Like, make sure that he doesn't die, because I don't want to kill somebody here today.
Yeah, he literally says like, what have I done? And I'm like, oh my god.
Which I think that's also, I just realized, a really interesting parallel to the fight between Greywing and Fox in the first book.
Yes.
Because that was another situation where Greywing, in self-defense, slashed out at another cat and ended up causing that death. And that's something that fucking Clear Sky holds over his head, even though Clear Sky let that happen, but whatever. I won't get into it, I guess.
Yeah, but I think that really does show like sort of the parallel there is very important. I do think that Thunder is like, I do think they're setting up Thunder to be just this very good character, and I'm very excited.
Good boy.
He's such a good boy. Now, we're going to talk about my absolute favorite line from this book.
Ooh, do it. Tell me.
Okay, so we've got Greywing and Clear Sky fighting, and this is directly after Jackdaw's Cry and Falling Feather kill each other. And Clear Sky is standing over his brother, and he keeps saying, like, give in. He's like telling him to give up. Greywing refuses. He's like still fighting, but he's not. He's like, it's all in vain. Like, he keeps trying to hit at him, and it just doesn't work.
He is really suffering from his lungs at this point too. Yeah. He is raspy. He's really fucked up.
Yeah, and Clear Sky just keeps yelling at him to give in, and he is about to deliver the killing blow, and Thunder is just frozen in shock. And Greywing stands up and he delivers the most raw ass line in this entire book.
Spinning
and
bars.
he just says, kill me and live with the memory, then tell the stars that you won. And it's so fucking good. It has no right to hit that hard, because I literally read that and I was like, oh shit.
Truly.
He's like,
fuck.
If it's gonna make you happy, if you're gonna think that you win because you're killing me, like, go for it. Like, live with that guilt, live with that fact. I just love it when a character is like, sure, kill me, but then you're gonna have to live with the fact that you did that shit, and you're gonna feel guilty every day of your life.
You cannot kill me in any way that matters.
And then he goes in on him hard, and he's like, you would kill your own brother for all of this power. And Clear Sky literally, finally, for the first moment ever, has like a moment of, oh god, I fucked up. And he's like, no, I don't want to kill you, even though I was literally just about to kill you. He's like, he realizes what he has done, which I don't really care much for that, but
yeah, I don't necessarily buy it.
I don't buy it either, but because he does keep being a bastard. He does continue being like a dick. And So, it's very clearly not like a complete change of heart, so I accept it. But it is very just like, Greywing, like, he really, like, jumped up the list of my cats that I enjoy with that one line, because I just thought it was raw as hell.
Greywing went through deep tragedy in the last 24 hours. It's worth really highlighting that this is all happening in the same fucking day.
Yeah, that is wild, huh?
Yeah, like, essentially Greywing went to sleep one day, woke up the next day, and discovered that his fucking wife was dead, and then had to go and talk to his stupid-ass brother who won't stop hitting him.
Yeah. It was... Whew.
It's so much.
So then, do you have anything else you want to say about the battle?
I have something, but it's more about flip-flopping characterization stuff, so we'll get to that after we finish talking about the battle and the end of the book.
Yeah. So after the battle, we get our visit from Starclan. They're not called Starclan yet, but we get our Star Cats. Fuck yes. Ugh. Now, I don't have, like, strong opinions on Starclan either way. Yeah. Just, like, as a concept, but I do love the descriptions of Starclan cats.
Yeah, when they're all like sparkly.
They got like sparkly fur, and they have the stars in their pelts, and it just feels so ethereal to me. I love it.
There is something genuinely affecting about the concept of like people that you knew who are dead coming and speaking to you from the sky. Like,
yeah,
there's something very cool. Like, I love constellation shit. We know this about me. I'm a bitch who loves constellations. Yeah. And so I really like that the adjacency to the concept of somebody being in like the stars as a place that you can go to continue your life.
Yeah, because that I think is important too, is Starclan is not just like sitting around doing diddly squat.
No,
like,
they really
chase
are doing
rabbits,
stuff up there.
They hunt, like Starclan is a clan.
Yeah,
like,
it truly is the continuation of a clan.
Yeah, they continue their life. They like do patrols. They hang out with each other. They go hunting like ghosts, rabbits, and shit. It's great.
It is great.
I thought it was really cool to see the StarClan cats rising up out of their bodies.
Yeah, holy shit. That was really cool.
I don't think has ever happened before.
No. Yeah. I think my brain is poisoned by like the AMVs because people do like there have been animations done, like animated music videos done where the cats rise up out of the bodies, and it's really effective there, and I like seeing it in the books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, very specifically, one of the cats like curls back up into their body as the cats are leaving.
Oh shit! I don't think.
But is dead,
and
that was really. I think it was Furcone. Furcone? That's his whole name, right?
Yeah, that's his name. I
think it was Furcone or Rainswept Flower. Also, shout out to Rainswept Flower who fucking died in this fight. Sucks. Fucking sucks. Rainswept Flower, you deserve better. You deserve to like have just a nice life with Jack and Peak.
Yeah. But yeah, so this it was Furcone who went back into his body as if he was going to sleep. Back to sleep. And then all of the others walk away, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
He's just like, I'm chilling, bro.
I'm fucking chilling, dude.
But, yeah, I thought just seeing all of the cats come out of their bodies, and he's even like, there's no wounds, there's no blood, their pelts are sleek and thick. Frost's pelt is even shinier than it was in life. Like, he's talking about just how Greywing is talking about how beautiful and how good this is for them, and I'm just like, oh, this is what it is. This is what it's like, baby. It's so good. And then the fucking StarClan cats, they do have kind of a thing that would have hit better if, again, as I have said multiple times before, Clear Sky had more of a reason than just I want to kill.
Yeah, Clear Sky doesn't. He doesn't have like it. claims they do this whole thing where they're like, okay, so it's fear that drove you, and it's like, that's not good. That's not like a good reason either. That's not a compelling or satisfying reason to be doing all of this stuff if you're trying to, like, especially if you're trying to say, so the Starclan cats essentially come and say, okay, everybody here needs to stop and think about what they've done, and just both sides, very, very centrist of them. They're like, both sides are bad because the one side reacted to violence by retaliating with violence to protect themselves. So that's bad. And it's like, no,
I don't think so.
You almost got there.
Yeah.
And you kind of...
I will say, though, it was very entertaining. The Starclan cats do just rip Clear Sky a new one.
Oh, they really do. I'm gonna read this
ass.
I'm gonna read this line from Storm that really I thought was really good. Storm is here, and Storm is like, Clear Sky, you motherfucker,
you stupid Clear Sky, you horse's ass.
So she says, stop arguing. For once in your life, stop telling every cat who belongs and who doesn't. You don't get to decide. Why do you think I left the forest? You came here from the mountains and brought nothing but death. This is your chance to make amends, all of you. And she loses me there with the all of you, because it's really not everybody. But you know, that was in response to Clear Sky saying some shit, and she's just like, okay, will you fucking shut up. Shut the fuck up.
I really liked Shaded Moss.
Shaded Moss really came for
like,
Tall Shadow.
He's like, I thought you could lead them, but what the fuck have you done?
I thought that was a little mean, because
it was
a little bit mean, because they come for, like, how could you have killed Furcone? Like, dude, look him in the eyes. Did he deserve this? And it's like, he was fucking about to kill Thunder. Like, you have to.
Yeah.
I cannot stress enough how much the forest cats were out for blood. I cannot stress enough.
Like, not a single one of them seemed to have the same idea as Thunder of, like, I don't want to kill people.
No, everybody was in there, and the other cats were literally fighting for their lives, and most of them didn't win that fight.
Now, I will say, one of the things that I did like about what Starclan said to them is kind of relevant to what we talked about last time, where they talk about the land.
Mm-hmm.
And
they say something really good about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
And I think that this is also, there's kind of a conversation, or not conversation, but I think it is Tall Shadow during the meeting with Clear Sky before it all goes to shit, that says this stuff about, like, the land was here before us, and it will continue to be here after us.
Yes.
There's a lot.
They really start leaning into, like, we are not as important as the land itself. We should not be the ones to delineate who lives where.
Which would be, I think, is good. I think it's very funny to me that there's, like, a lot of stuff happening in this particular series with, like, why are we drawing borders? There is enough territory for everybody. There is enough food to go around. And then we're going to get to the, like, more modern part of the timeline, and it's just going to be all this shit all over again.
For real. It's wild. I mean, again, it is, like, what, 50 or 60 years?
Yeah, it's a long time. It's almost
100. Almost a whole century.
Yeah, it's like 80 years?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's a ridiculous amount of time. So, like, it kind of makes sense that they've forgotten they've forgotten things. But yes, so there's a falling star as the sign, and the cats tell them, like, you all live under the same stars, and a single moon shines onto all of your nests. Which,
another really banger line.
Yeah, which is another banger line. And also, as we were talking about Starclan being all of the cats of all the different clans being one clan, I just think that line is a great encapsulation of what Starclan is. Like, they are all under the same stars. You know, as much as I had issues with some of the things that the Starclan cats were saying, I was very stoked about it.
Yeah. Overall, they're right. It's just that they're a little bit wrong.
Yeah. I think also it's interesting that once again, we are laying the groundwork for what we know. They have basically the first vigil. Grey Wing's cats are like staying behind while Clear Sky's like, well, we're leaving. And he's like, why are you guys staying with the dead bodies? And they're like, well, we're just going to stay with them until their bodies are cold because we want to honor them. And I'm like, the first fucking vigil! Like, this is what's happening. It's happening.
God, Thunder and Lightning Tail and Acorn Fur all curl up with Hawk Swoop's body, and it
that
really
broke my heart.
Rough.
And Clear Sky's like, why are you doing this? Like, she's not anything to you. And he's like, yes, she's basically his mother.
Raised him.
Yeah, like, this is the cat who raised him. Like,
they're acting like kids.
Sit the fuck down.
Up.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I'm every day I wake up and I tell Clear Sky to fucking shut his mouth.
Yeah, and then they tell them to come back in a moon, and I'm like, setting up the gatherings, baby. I'm just like, we're getting into the setup of the way the clans are, and it just makes me so stoked.
It's so good. It's so good.
And do you have anything else to say about the battle?
I do not.
Okay. Do we want to talk about the bonus chapters?
Yeah!
Oh, it's all about how Wind and Gorse met. Gorse is the ultimate male wife. I love him so much.
I love Gorse. Gorse is such a male wife! Dude, literally him being like, this is my place, it's pretty nice, right? Like,
he literally takes her back to his place on the first date. He's like, hey, you want to get out of the rain? I found this, like, den around here. And she wakes up, she's like, this whole place smells like you've lived here. He's like, oh yeah, I live here. And she's like,
it's nice, dude. Isn't it? Pretty nice. Maybe it would be great. 2 cats could fit it.
He's so fucking funny. I love him so much.
I fucking love Gorse. Really interesting little and like really snappy storytelling here.
Oh yeah.
With there's 3 of these chapters, these bonus chapters. The first one is essentially Wind experiencing a dog attack and essentially being abandoned by Branch, who is a Tom that she was running with, basically.
Yeah, it says that he kind of started taking care of her after her mom and sister died. Mm-hmm. But it's not, I don't think she sees him as a father figure. 'Cause she even mentioned, she's like, I'm sure eventually, like, we'll keep traveling together. I'll have kids with him. Like, it's whatever. She's very unemotional about that part. It's very interesting that she's like, yeah, I guess that's just, like, the way things will go is we'll hang out and, we'll travel for long enough that we'll end up, like, having feelings for each other.
Yeah, I read it as kind of not very strong feelings, but warm feelings of familiarity of, like, I spend time with this person and they're in my life and it would be nice to, like, have a family with them.
I definitely did not read it that way. I think that's very interesting. I definitely thought, like, she definitely cared about him, but I thought it was very much like, this is the way things go is, we're going to travel together and we're going to end up having kids at some point. Mm-hmm. I think
also possible,
those are both very good interpretations. But
yeah, I read it very much as like, if we're both single in 20 years.
Yes, that is very much what it kind of reads as. But yes, so she gets attacked. She's unable to really do anything.
It gets infected. She's really hurt. It seems like she's going to die. And Branch just kind of leaves her. It's very fucked up.
Yeah, he leaves her a rabbit so that she can eat, but otherwise he basically abandons her.
He just bounces.
And she's like, well, guess I'm on my own again.
And she's like, I will simply be on my own. I will never have to
she's
trust
just like,
or care about anybody again. And then, fuck these guys. And then in the next chapter, it is that her helping this queen, this mother cat with 2 kittens who are sort of trying to figure out their life on the moor, and
the mother can't hunt because she's injured or sick or something like that.
Paw. She got thorn in her paw.
Oh yeah, she got her footies hurt.
Her footy hurt. Her got a paw infection.
Yeah, so she had a hurt little paw, and so the kids weren't able to hunt. And Wynn's like, I guess I'll give them to you. Like, I'll give you my food. And they're like, well, don't you want to share? And she's like, ew, no, I gave it to you. It's yours now. I'm not sharing that shit.
Which is so funny. And they're like, but there's too much here. You should have some. And she's like, no, I don't share food with people.
And they're like, but you gave us this. Like, that's sharing. And then she's like, no, it's not.
Sharing. She's like, no, it's not. That's not sharing.
I'm cool and unattached, and I don't like people. I'm her.
A shonen protagonist.
Yes.
And then basically runs into Gorse, who's...
So funny.
It's just a fucking goofus.
He's like, I've been watching you.
Yeah.
You don't seem to like to hang out with other people. And he just like starts walking with her. She's like, why the fuck is this guy following me?
It's so good. And so then they have to rescue one of the kittens when a lightning strike causes a fire, a brush fire. And they have to work together to get this kitten safe. They do that. They kind of send that mother and her kittens on their way. And Gorse is like, well, here, I know that, you know, you have no attachments, blah, 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 whatever, fucking Jedi way, I guess.
But it's raining and we need somewhere to shelter. And she's like, well, I'm not stupid. I know you need to shelter down when it's raining.
He's like, I know that you're smart and you know you need to. He's really like leading into it too.
He really is. It's so funny.
And then she goes to sleep next to Gorse in his den. It's his den. It's his house. It's his crib. And wakes up and he's not there. And she's like, well, yeah, of course he's not there. He's going to have left because nobody ever stays. And that's what it's like. And then he like shows up with a rabbit and is like, I thought you'd be hungry. And she's like, whoa, wait, you're here? Yeah.
And then the last line is really gets me.
The last line of this whole thing is Gorse came back. And that was like, ah!
I love them so much. They are perfect together. I care about them so much. They're
so good.
Those are my parents.
There was so much good stuff during like the birthing scene, like the when she was in labor and Gorse was comforting her, and after it when Gorse was comforting her, and them also. Wind wanted to be in the fight. Windrunner wanted to go be part of the fight.
And Gorse Fur
is like, she's not going to die today. I'm not going to let her.
Yeah, they are perfect.
Relationship goals.
Honestly. Do we want to talk about the Erins?
Let's go to the Erin Corner. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Erins. I feel like Kate Carey did not read the first book in this series. I don't think that she read the first one. I think she read the one coming up to this one. She read the second book and was like, oh, this will be fine. Because there is a moment where Greywing specifically like talks about meeting Bumble as though the time that she came to the clan at the beginning of the second book was the first time that he had ever met her, when he met her multiple times in the first book. Including when they were like on the rock at Four Trees for the first time.
Yeah.
That's where he met Bumble. And also Turtletail and Greywing already did the whole, can we get up on the big rock? Yeah. Like in the first book. And it was really funny to see that hashed out again here. And it's like, we did do this already.
We've done this before. Yeah.
I found via the wiki that Kate Carey uses the Warriors wiki while writing for reference, which I love. I love that. I'm going to make this image bigger again.
We got to shout out the wiki people every single time because they fucking kill it.
The wiki people kill it. I also was on her Kate Carey's Twitter and found this image that she quote retweeted of Blue Star, who is a character we will meet later, an anthro version of Blue Star in like a black turtleneck and black sweatpants hanging out on a balcony. And Kate Carey just retweeted this and said, love this.
It's so funny.
There's something so funny about it.
Oh, incredible.
She also wrote this fucking bananas. So I was like, what's Kate Carey's deal? So I was in the Erin Corner. I was looking up Kate Carey, and I discovered that she wrote a article on the warriorcats.com page called A Good Death in Writing, which has some really wild statements made about writing death in fiction, including this one that I wanted to highlight. Kill your characters too quickly and your reader will feel unsatisfied. You must stroke your reader, cosset and woo them, lead them up to death so gently and lovingly that by the time it happens, they are ready for it. Don't cosset me, ma'am.
Ma'am, you
Do
are
not
writing
cosset me.
You're writing a book not having foreplay. Like,
This is, you can't just say this shit to me. No.
we are
Get
not
away
in bed
from
together. Woof.
Like, yo.
What a line, huh?
It was just so much. And I was like, we have to talk about it. I have to bring
I don't
this
think I
up.
want to talk about it. I think I want to forget that was ever put into the world.
You must stroke your reader, cosset, and woo them. What? You can't say that. This is a children's book website. Anyways, a little bit more on my thoughts about Kate versus Cherith here. As far as errands go, I do think that Kate has higher highs. I think that the banger lines in here are very much because I think that Kate is really good at writing those lines that stick out to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to keep an eye on the errands, which Erin is writing which book going forward, and see if consistently she kind of has lines that stick out to me more, or if that's sort of just that she was really on one with this book. I have an issue with consistency, as I talked about earlier, consistency with previous books in the series. There are inconsistencies, like she didn't quite do all of her research. There's even just weird inconsistency between chapters. Like in chapter 20, we have this line from Greywing during the fight between him and Clear Sky, where he says, "You want to tell every cat what to do. You always have and you always will. You're so greedy for power, you'll kill your own littermate to get it," which is a sick, dope, good, great line. Love it. Let's go. But then in the next chapter, Greywing then defends Clear Sky by saying Clear Sky was never greedy. In the mountains, he gave up his food for Fluttering Bird. No cat changes that much. Which is it?
The opposite of what he just said.
That's the opposite of what he just said. And I could just chalk it up to Greywing, but I think that this is more Kate just forgetting what she wrote. It reads more like that. It reads more like inconsistency in editing than it does an actual conscious character choice.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just looking at inconsistencies. Didn't Moonshadow die last book?
Yes.
Okay, he's in the allegiances in this one.
Yes, that is on the inconsistencies page on the wiki.
Okay, I was like, wait a second, I'm looking at the allegiances here, and Moonshadow's there, and I'm like, I don't think that's right.
Moonshadow is there, and I believe there is one other cat who died last book that is in the allegiances somewhere. It might be a rogue or somebody from Clear Sky's camp.
Oh, Misty's in there.
Oh yeah, Misty's there. That's what it is.
Oh god, gang, you're gonna get so excited about all the times we find inconsistencies in the allegiances. It's so funny.
It's so funny.
Oh, good. Well, thank you so much for that information about the errands. That is really fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna head on to sharing tongues.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna talk just a brief bit about fandom stuff this week. Partly because with a title like The First Battle, it's remarkably difficult to find content. We've got some cool covers again. The simplified Chinese printing you pointed out is dope as hell.
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
Yeah, it is very, very evocative of that. Only one fic on Archive of Our Own this time with The First Battle tagged, and it's not even a specific The First Battle, centric fic. It is a history of SkyClan that's I guess somebody wrote up. So
I love Warriors fans.
I do
because
too.
they'll just be like, here's hi AO3, here is my detailed
interpretation of the history of an entire clan. And I'm like,
an entire clan. Pop the fuck off.
Tumblr, however, proved pretty easy to search this time. As I said, the girlies loved Tell the Stars You Won. There's so much art, and just like people quoting it, like, how the fuck is this raw ass line allowed to be from Warriors?
Truly.
I think I've even seen it before on a post of like raw lines that have no business being what like from what they are from. I'm like 90% sure I've seen that line before. A lot of folks complaining, like we have said, that Clear Sky's character makes no sense. Just, you know, several of the quotes being pointed out, like I think a lot of folks do just like are reacting to the fact that there are so many good lines. So much fan art of Clear Sky and Grey Wing fighting. I
want to draw fan art of Clear Sky and Grey Wing fighting.
Please do. Oh my god. Somebody else live blogging their reactions, and I also found apparently there were these Taiwanese trading cards.
I love this. I'm looking at this right now. And
yeah, this trading card. I'll make it a little bigger on our thing. It's dope. Why don't we have trading cards for Warrior Cats? Do you know how much my childhood self would have ate that shit up? They would have made $1 billion off of me alone. Yeah, so, you know, not much sharing tongues this week. You know, we did have a big old battle. I feel like we need to have, like, an in memoriam at the end of this fucking season.
Seriously.
For, like, a nice in memoriam PowerPoint, like, at the Oscars of all the cats. The angels. We just gotta make that and shout out all the cats who died.
So many cats died.
Because I was keeping track of how many cats died, and I was like, whoa, we're gonna have to... have a whole PowerPoint at the end here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's sharing tongues this week. Nice, short, sweet little bit.
Thank you. I love it.
Of course.
We better do our Warrior Cats of the Week now.
Oh man, this is such a hard choice.
It is
this
a hard
week.
one.
I have so many. My Warrior Cat of the Week, as much as I have loved on so many of the characters in our discussion, my Warrior Cat of the Week is Lightning Tail.
My Warrior Cat of the Week is Lightning Tail!
Scout! We gotta stop doing this! Oh my god. So Lightning Tail is my pick. I literally wrote it down when he was helping rescue the kids from the two legs.
Exactly.
I wrote down Warrior Cat of the Week contender, Lightning Tail, and then I never wrote down another contender because I just thought he was... so good. I really thought, like, for a cat that has pretty much been in the background for the most part, like, this was his moment to shine, and I really enjoyed it. Also, I think he and Thunder should kiss.
That would be great. They're best friends.
They're best friends. I do think Thunder is going to end up with Acorn for her, because she does, like, have a moment where she's like, "Hey, Thunder, you got hot."
Yeah, that was so funny!
But
there was also a moment, brief derailment. There was a moment at the beginning of the book where I had a realization that was like, oh my god, did they do this whole thing with Turtletail having kids with somebody else, but Clear Sky, but Grey Wing raising them because they want to do like Sparrowfur and Thunder. And not have it be incestual. There was a moment where I was like, oh my god, wait, is this all a ploy? Back to Lightning Tail. I love him.
Yeah, so I do think he and Lightning Tail, like, they are besties. I also think they could be gay if...
they could be gay. If the Erins weren't cowards.
Yeah, I do think that they kind of, like, I just think he is such a good, like, character to be along with Thunder for. Yeah. And I really hope that in the eventual timeline where Thunder becomes the leader of ThunderClan, that Lightning Tail goes with him. Yeah. Because their names even go together. Thunder and Lightning. I
know. And you know, he was named that specifically because he loved Thunder so much as a kid that he would follow him around everywhere.
It's so cute. They're besties.
They're fucking besties.
But yeah, Lightning Tail, like, loving up on these two legs, trying to make it so these kids can get away.
He was so smart and brave and strong.
He was like, I have a plan. And I'm like, oh my god. Even before the plan went off, I was like, Lightning Tail is going to be my number one cat this week.
Lightning Tail has a fucking scheme, and we love that.
Yeah.
I also just think that all of his moments, like I said, I talked a lot earlier about the scene where they find Turtletail's body. I think that whole thing with Lightning Tail and Thunder was so poignant and like heartbreaking and really good. And having this whole little kind of side adventure wasn't necessary, but the characterization between Thunder and Lightning Tail getting to be on screen was worth it.
I was literally just about to say, as much as we ragged on that whole thing being pointless, like, at least we did get some really good Thunder and Lightning Tail content.
Yeah, there was a lot of really good character growth in that section for Thunder, and then for, seeing Lightning Tail kind of in action and more stuff with River Ripple. We totally forgot to mention that River Ripple also shows up after the battle, and everybody's like, why didn't you jump in? And he's like, to whom?
Yeah, he's like, well,
is
why
that my
would
fight? Like, stupid.
Yeah, me and the Windcats are chill, but, like, I'm not gonna fight your stupid battles for you. Like,
So once again, shout out River Ripple.
Once again, shout out. He has got to be the runner-up. I just can't have him be my Warrior Cat of the Week twice in a row.
We both did Pebbleheart last week.
Oh, we didn't we?
Mm-hmm. And I almost did Pebbleheart again.
River Ripple is my man's. I love him
Ripple
so much. But yes, Lightning Tail, you're our Warrior Cat of the Week. Shout outs to you.
You deserve it, buddy.
Can't wait to see more of you, bud.
I also don't think that this is technically how he is described, but in my head, and I will die on this hill, he is like all black with a white tail, and that's like also part of the thing
is all
Lightning
black.
Tail. He's all black with, and I know that, but in my heart and brain,
yeah,
his ass is white.
His ass
he's got
is
a white.
he's
got a white tail. His tail is white.
Yeah, I like that.
Like a lightning strike.
Oh, I love.
Outro time?
Outro time.
If you have thoughts, opinions, questions, or memes to share with us, you can write to us at pawsandclawspod@gmail.com. That's paws, as in what a cat has, claws, as in the part of speech, pod, as in podcast. We are also on Twitter at Paws and Claws, and on Tumblr at Paws Clause Pod. Listeners who are 18 years and older can come join us on Discord, which will be linked in the show notes. You can find me, Scout, on Twitter or Tumblr at HumbleGoat, and you can see the art that I do, including our podcast cover art, at scoutwilkinson.myportfolio.com. Links to my portfolio as well as my Ko-fi page are also in the show notes.
And you can also find me, Jill, on Twitter at plot_twists, or on Tumblr at antique-romantic. Our next episode will be out in 2 weeks, where we will discuss Dawn of the Clans Book 4, The Blazing Star. Read along by buying the book from a local bookstore or checking out a copy from your local library. Until then, dear listeners, may Starclan guide your paws.